That will be fixed in a second. Yeah, that's going down slowly. So that should be resolved. And as soon as they've readied up, we'll jump into OT here and see who is actually going to take control of this one. All right, let's get to it. And as said before, it's 10k MR3. To anyone new to CS, basically what that means is it's 6 rounds total. There's 2 halves of it still. You start off with 10k every 3 rounds. You need to win at least 4 out of a sequence of 6 rounds to win the map. If the teams tie 3-3, it resets and you start it all over again.
Yeah, so basically 19 the magic number in his first overtime. First team's 19 will win. If not, we do it all over again until there's a winner. And of course, Astralis have already claimed the win. I didn't quite catch it. Did NiP win their first game as well?
Yeah, I wasn't able to check the stats either, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, because obviously we were busy casting ourselves. So almost a winner's match, I guess you could say, as Dupree is going to eat the early damage through the door of Connector. And that's free damage as well. NiP don't lose anything in the process of that. Mollies and smokes being exchanged, and Glaive does land a headshot into Forest, leaving Freiburg all alone for the time being.
I was curious as well, because meanwhile downstairs here, we can see that the door took quite a bit of damage, and Dupree actually ended up getting dinked by someone there. Pit, though, sneaking in a kill into a somewhat curious Zippix, who moves his way over into water to investigate exactly what was going on there. It'll be Pit that finds the frag in this case. We go down to a 4v4, but all of a sudden Pit tries to move out through Monster here, and he meets his match against a very aggressive push from Astralis. Now, they're going to get full control leading up to the B-bomb site. Exista waiting on the other end here. This is an aggressive position considering they're down a man, but if he can impact, more power to him. It works out great. Finishes off a very low Dupree, and they're even again now, and it almost seems like the Astralis are a bit unsure about how they want to play this, as they send the bomb reeling back over here into the top tunnels to figure out how exactly they want to play this. They've only got 30 seconds of this. They need to make a decision very soon.
Seems the decision has been made, considering that Glaive up through Connector, and now the bomb is transitioning through the bathroom side. Smokes, flashes, mollies, Freiburg still standing tall. Losing minimal amounts of health, and this is looking good now for the Ninjas. Glaive is the last to fall, leaving it a bit late. NiP will pounce on top of that, regaining the lead once again. As to be fair, they have been out in the lead for the majority, the bulk of this map, so familiar territory for them.
And this also keeps their economy in a good spot too. There is, again, for anyone that may be a little bit newer here, there is that risky spot for CTs, because usually their buys tend to be a bit more expensive, to where if they invest too heavily in the first round, then they'll end up on just upgraded pistols with armor behind it for the third round if they lose the second one as well. But by winning the first one, for the most part, they should be able to avoid that slip up there. Whereas the T's usually don't have to deal with that to such a large degree anyway. They can at the very least force buy into it. But it's going to be Carabee finding the first kill in this one, moving in, eliminating Freiburg right from the get-go of things. So it's Astralis again that start off with the advantage, but now they actually have to capitalize upon it.
Also, I'm going to make a correction. Obviously, myself and Blue were casting, so we didn't know this, but actually Fnatic won against NiP 16-14. So NiP have already lost one game. Desperate for a recovery here against Astralis. Again, they do have the advantage, but in this round, they have conceded first blood. As Freiburg has been quite instrumental. He's the player to fall alongside Forest, who did get a trade before falling. Here comes Get Right with one, and a second massive place by him before he gets traded out. 2-on-2. Zipex and Device. And again, it is the Clutch King.
Yeah, Zipix actually finding Zipnix. Or Zipix. Wow, I'm getting really confused, sorry. Zipix finding Exist back over here by the bathrooms early on, but it's actually Device that gets the kill from Long against Pit, so now it's just Exist, and he does not have the greatest position to play for, unfortunately. The Molly, he sits in it as well, so now he's going to be brought down to 14 HP. Nades going in, trying to dodge everything. The whole world poised against him currently. And with 14 HP, he won't have the best ability to peek out. And the second he does, Device is there to shut it down. The traded round comes right back in for Astralis, and, well, we go 16-16.
I was looking good there when Get Right got the double spray, but yeah, Exist was certainly amongst it. All even. Famas in for Pits. Last round of this half of overtime. And considering that both teams had a much better T-half in regulation, if NiP could get the lead, it would be in a really good position. Again, though, a lot of those T-rounds did come down to a fluctuating economy. That won't be as prevalent an issue in overtime. And Glaive is going to be very low, and Dupree is 6 foot under. Great start again for NiP. Haven't lost really that much health either in the process. Still have nades. Astralis, a lot of pressure on them, but the spray through the smoke. We'll see Zipex landing onto Pit. All even once again.
Kirby's sitting at the edge of a construction smoke, too, if he wants to try and press against this. I think he's behind sandbags currently. So no additional pressure being applied to the B-bomb site for right now, but they do have all of the borders of it secured to try and push back in. However, there's also a lot of players shifting up through connector, but the bomb is still, very well placed downstairs at the moment, ready to roll itself into the B-bomb site at a moment's notice. But it's basically equated across the map. As you look at it, 2 T's on either side of the map and 2 CTs on either side of the map. They're playing into this evenly. Exists no panic at all as he gets hit with a flashbang either.
Blue, I just seen in chat there, I know you don't have it up, Exist apparently is timed out.
Oh.
NiP have typed that in chat, and Astralis did reply, so that is incredibly unfortunate. I think a frag had already gone down, so it's going to be an interesting decision, but I think they're going to play this on regardless, and that is brutal for NiP. If Exist did time out, that is an absolute catastrophe as far as they're concerned. It was all even, 17-16.
Yeah, so, again, usual rule of thumb for these kinds of things, usually applies to online matches, but obviously, imagine it carries over to LAN matches too, is if there is contact, if there is a fight, or if someone takes damage before, the team calls that they are having an issue or something like that, then normally the round still sticks, unfortunately. So, obviously, the admins will take a look at that. We won't assume anything until we hear a word from the admins, but for right now, it is kind of an open case currently.
Yeah, they're keeping an eye on the chat just to see what happens, but I think that round will count. That's my first instinct, at least.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I've been seeing this a lot recently. Unfortunately, this is like the 3rd time in a week I've seen this happen. It happened in the Pro League about a week ago too. And it kind of screwed over Immortals when it happened because they lost like their whole team because I think someone tripped like the internet in the house or something like that, and it happened in a way too to where it was like a